with City. I did want to start the show by talking a bit about Chelsea because I feel like the conversation around them has become a little bit quiet in recent days and weeks. No win in 5 Premier League games and a pattern emerging in the majority of them. Start dominantly. They've scored first on a number of occasions, but then collapsed and failed to win. And no win in 5. It's not a good look right now. It does feel like a bit of a mini crisis for Chelsea and Enzo Maresca.
I'm going to pull rank here. I would suggest that Mo start off this section. Because okay. I think he should speak on this one first because he's the one that requested to talk about Chelsea specifically. So I feel like he has something really massive to bring to the table when it comes to this conversation. So I want to hear what he has to say because I'm curious because I feel like he's going to drop a bomb or say something mad.
Maresca's being found out. It's simple. We praise the guy. He's being found out.
I know my brother. I know him.
I spoke about it this morning. He's being found out. He's very stubborn. I thought the guy would adapt. I thought the guy would drop the stubbornness after a brilliant start of the season. He's being found out. Every Chelsea fan, Jackson should have scored. Okay. Chelsea fans assume that Jackson would have all these chances every game. And if Chelsea doesn't score, they accept the loss or they accept the point. No, that football doesn't work like this. Stop being naive. Football doesn't work like this. Italians said always, you defend first. This is why we say best defense always win the league. Because it doesn't mean that if you miss chances, you accept that you drop points. And he has to understand this. He has to learn. And he's learning on the job, but he's being stubborn. Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, and Caicedo or Lavia by themselves in the middle doesn't work. Go back to play Palmer on the right side. It's very simple. Nobody's going to accuse you that you are, you're copying Pochettino. Who cares, bro? Just play Cole Palmer on the right side. Tightening your defense. Your defenders are not that good. He started the season very well. And he played double pivot sometimes. You remember with Lavia and Caicedo, we said they are very good together. But now because he's injured, find a solution, my friend. You find a solution. It is not on us. And we are telling you, we have a solution for you. Play double pivot. You're being open every time at Team Ipswich. Fulham. Now yesterday, against, who did they play yesterday? Bournemouth yesterday. You're wide open. Second half, you completely got dominated in the second half. Stop being stubborn. Go back to basics. Tightening your defense. Your defense is not good. And this is Chelsea fans. The problem with Chelsea fans, and I'm going to say this to all the Chelsea fans. You guys know that there is a problem. 1 win in 5 or no wins in 5. You got 3 points out of 15 in the last 5 games. And you guys are being stubborn because Hussam put it in your head with the potch out thing. They put it in their heads, bro. Hussam. Nobody wants to say that Maresca is making mistakes. Not a lot of them are being stubborn. No, he's going to go back to the brilliant football he played. No, you have to admit that he's making mistakes. Don't do the Arsenal
Why
thing.
do you think my opinion will influence their opinion?
Yeah, baby, you influence them. You and then Lewis and then everyone went and said, we're going to get against Hussam. Hussam said,
okay, so you're basically saying they don't want to criticize Maresca because they made a point that Poch was at fault.
They will look like, they will look like fools. They think they will look like fools. Don't do the Arsenal thing. And I'm telling you, the last thing I'm going to say before Hussam comes in,
No, you don't have to say the last thing.
Don't do the Arsenal thing. Don't be like Arsenal fans and start criticizing Maresca early. Adi, he needs to feel pressured. He needs to feel pressured. Adi, it's okay. People have to accept that they can criticize their coach. Why is everyone thinking that I can't criticize my coach? You can. We started criticizing Arteta. I'm not an Arsenal fan. Like an Arsenal fan, now, why do you criticize Arteta? Ya Habibi, criticize Arteta. Adi. Criticize Maresca. It's okay. It's okay. This is Chelsea Football Club. It's not Maresca Football Club. It's not Arteta Football Club. It's not Arne Slot Football Club. You criticize him when the criticism is warranted. 1 no wins in 5 is a mini crisis for you, especially because the start of the season. If Newcastle win today, they go ahead of you. You were saved by Man City not winning yesterday. You were saved by Man City. It's a mini crisis, as Terry said. Many crises. And I have to say that this guy is still young. He's a young manager. He's an upcoming manager, yes, and Chelsea fans need to stay behind him, but also criticism is warranted. Just criticize the guy. I'm not saying that Enzo Fernandez is not good and everything. He has been your best player, but it's on your manager to find a solution. And it's a mini crisis. And I'm looking at the Chelsea team. You are in danger if you continue like this of losing in the top 4 or top 5. Losing in the top 4 and the top 5. And you have to understand this, that nobody is safe. Nottingham Forest are not going anywhere. We saw that yesterday. Newcastle are up and coming. They are on the run. And you know Man City. Imagine at the end, you don't make the top 4 or the top 5. And after this brilliant start, you miss on top 5 and you miss on Champions League. And you win the Conference League and next season you play Europa
Do you
League.
actually think that's a genuine possibility, though?
Yeah, wallahi, 100%. If
How?
you continue like this,
How?
Newcastle keep winning. Nottingham Forest are not going anywhere. City start winning games again. They get Omar Marmoush. That centre back gets integrated. Now Chelsea find themselves 6th. And they are climbing the ladder, trying to get back to 4th or 3rd or something. After we've been talking about Chelsea in a title race, because that is how 5 games is a lot of time.
Can I just jump in for a second here?
Yeah.
I think they are in a crisis. I want to ask a question about when you say,
Wow,
found.
you both think this.
Hang on. Yeah, I think they're in. I think they're in a little crisis right now. Okay, no win in 5 for any member of the traditional top 6, I believe, is a crisis. No winning any of us at any point in the last decade, 2 decades,
Except
2.5
Spurs, to be fair,
decades.
because this
No,
is the regular
even
He
Spurs.
said
Not
top 5. He said top 5.
no, I did say top 6, but even Spurs, no win in 5, I still think it's a bit of a crisis. Okay. The only element I don't agree with is, okay, and I do and I don't, terminology. When you say found out, a lot of people assume you mean that Maresca is never going to find a way to improve this Chelsea team. That's not what you mean, is it?
No.
Okay.
I mean, the tactics that he played, the way he set up the midfield and the way he set up the defense, there is an anti-Maresca tactics now. Every manager, his tactics can be found out. We said that Pep now, without Rodri being found out. That doesn't mean they cannot recover. They can recover if he changes his tactics. When I say found out, means that your tactics been discovered. There is the anti-tactics. You need to find a solution now. You need to change. That is called found out.
See, I look at Chelsea and think it's the element here. By the way, I'm not drinking gin, people. This is literally sparkling water. I put a bit of lemon in it. I'm drinking a lot of water at the moment because I'm training, and I just wanted something with a bit more flavor to it. So I went and got a knife and cut up some lemon. That's all. But I feel like with Chelsea, I think it's personnel. Like yesterday, Lavia goes off. They started to really leak. They obviously conceded the penalty, but without him, it's a problematic. With a better striker than Jackson, who I still think is good. I still think could be a good part of a squad, but they need better than him as an example. I almost feel as though I think some of his substitutions are wrong. He's left them too late, and he's been rightfully criticised for that. But I do think there's a bit of an ideology battle going on here in a smaller scale, but the same principle of what's happening with Arsenal. When Arsenal got knocked out of the weekend, I would say 80% of the people having the violently loud debate about he should have gone, no, give him more time, only care about being right or wrong about their opinion. Where I think the 20% of them are just having it because they think it's important. The vast majority of Arsenal fans want to discuss what's right moving forward rather than trying to win a debate. And I think there's a loud group of Chelsea fans who every time they've won a match in the last couple of months, they post a picture at where at this stage they were with Poch, how much better they are without Poch. Now that it's kind of gone a little bit pear-shaped in a short period of time, they're now being called out by a different group of fans who didn't want Poch gone, who are now saying, well, there's only 5 points difference between the two 5 or 6 points difference between the two managers at this stage of the season. You said, and I'm pointing fingers here at Chelsea fans, you said that you only gave Poch 3 strikes, and you gave him 3 strikes for these 3 things. Maresca has done those same 3 things, and you've given him those strikes. Why is the energy different? So I think that isn't helping Chelsea, though. I don't believe those conversations are going to make Chelsea a better footballing team. What has let them down in the last 5 games?
That's not going to change, though, Terry.
Yeah, but we can
That
still call
specific
it out
conversation will not change.
Behavior.
No. Let me tell you why that conversation will not change. Yesterday, I saw a viral clip of Chelsea Fan TV. Big up Fatur, who also watches the stream.
Yeah,
I think he's big up Fats. He's been on the channel as well before.
Yeah, I've met him face to face. Been in studio. He's a good guy. Good guy.
Yeah. He was having an argument with one of the guys, and the other guy was basically saying, "Don't you dare make excuses because last season under Pochettino you didn't give him that excuse." So like, this is where I kind of agree with what Mo's saying. There's one side of the argument where essentially they've turned on Poch so bad that they don't want to say anything negative about Maresca because they have to back him until like the wheels completely fall off. Or the other side of the argument is the ones who didn't want Poch gone, who didn't believe in Maresca for the first 5, 6, 7, 8 games were proven wrong. And now that shit has hit the fan, they kind of went like, yo, maybe we should have kept Poch. Now, here's where I'm going to be balanced in this argument. I'm going to solve the problem for the Chelsea fans. Chelsea fans, don't be a bunch of idiots. You're already stupid last season. Don't be stupid again this year, please. Don't do the same thing that you did last year with Pochettino. You come do it with Maresca. Don't do this. You have seen enough signs this year for you to back the manager. I know this is difficult, Chelsea fans. I know you find it really hard to back your manager and actually get behind someone who isn't a player on the pitch. You find it really difficult. But you have to back your manager. Back Enzo Maresca because he's given you enough signs to back him, because he's given you enough reason to back him. You have enough evidence from the beginning of the season to back him and see that literally like midway through the season, you all thought that there's a chance, big up Andrew and others, there's a chance of you winning the league. Not that you should win it, but there is a chance of you winning the league. People thought that. And there is no reason for anyone to think that about Chelsea this season, but people thought that for good reason. So that's why I think there are way too many positive signs. But I do agree with Mo. This doesn't mean that Maresca is immune to criticism. You can still criticize the guy. You can still say something about the guy. You can still say something negative about the guy. You could still question his substitutions or whatever. But 5 games without a win is a bad look. And some of these games as well, once again, the caliber of opposition matters here. You're not playing Arsenal, Liverpool, City, blah, 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 all in a row, and you're going through on a bad run. No. Ipswich, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Everton, and now Bournemouth at home. That's why you must be worried. The one small caveat I will say is Leicester fans did tell us, and maybe this is something we're slightly at fault for. We are slightly at fault for because maybe we're not that much researched into the world of the Championship. But Leicester fans did tell us second half of the season, Maresca does struggle a little bit. So maybe we should have just listened. But time will tell. Now, let me just end on one point. Let me just end on one point.
But I think that point's a really good thing to delve into. So I know you want to end your point, but I think that's where the nervousness is coming from Chelsea fans. Is this a bad patch?
Yes.
Or is it, that Jose Mourinho, typically speaking, it was correct that he'd get into that third season, and at some point in that third season, it would fall apart.
Yep.
I think that's a fear for a lot of the Chelsea fans. It's why certain Chelsea fans have not been coming on the match reactions recently. They just want to keep their heads down because they're like, oh, God, I gave it the big one. I spoke about doing too much research. I knew this wouldn't happen with my team. And I think there's just a fear. There's no proof it's going to happen yet. But I think there is a fear that, can you imagine if this 5 games goes to 1 win in 10 or 2 wins in 12? This is where it will get a really interesting debate. If in 5, 6, 7 games time, him and Poch are level on points or Poch is ahead of him on points, then I think it can become really toxic because, again, most fans care about getting their opinions right, especially in the social media world, than they do discussing what's best for their football club. And I just feel that the energy is misplaced somewhat.